Are you serious? Oh no! Well, there's a reason they're doing this. But oh no, are you serious? Makes me a little nervous, Purvis. It really does when you start talking about nuclear fusion. When we've already got crude oil, we've already got coal, we've already got natural gas, and we already know how to handle this. Okay? And we already know that solar and wind is not going to get it done. We know that can help, it's 3% of the total need for power in this country. 3%. We know solar and wind is never going to get us where we need to be to function as a society as we are. So what they're doing is they're trying to move to nuclear fusion. Well, here's the thing. You're just now starting to figure out nuclear fusion. You barely got a breakthrough here. And yeah, they say that's cleaner, but I don't think you understand the danger of that whole process. And we're not going to get there overnight. And I don't even know if we'll ever get there. And I'm not so sure it's going to be any more cleaner at the end of the day. Maybe, maybe not. But we're a long ways away. But certainly, we're putting a lot of energy to trying to move industries into the hands of different players, and that's what you see going. Let me put a shout out right now, if I can, for www.ketowithpaul.com. That's www.ketowithpaul.com. Hit your weight management goals faster, guys, with the #1 keto supplement. It's www.ketowithpaul.com. That's www.ketowithpaul.com. If your New Year's resolution is to improve your health, like 48% of most of Americans are, you got to get off to a right start. Now, this really does help you reach your goals. I'm going to say it's not the whole, it's not the total answer, but it is definitely an enhancement to help get you where you want to be. Support your weight management goals with this amazing keto powder. This supplement helps with maintaining a healthy body weight by helping you elevate those body levels of ketones. I look a lot better. Let's face it. This is absolutely a part of that, which can aid with the appetite management, metabolism, your overall energy levels. Tens of thousands of Americans have turned to this method to help manage their weight. So what do you have to lose? Nothing. You can get and you save 51% off if you use my link below, www.ketowithpaul.com. That's www.ketowithpaul.com. Get started now, guys. The New Year's is just around the corner. It really is. Wow! Anyway, let's talk about what's going on here with this nuclear fusion situation, okay? Let's talk about it. Because when you start thinking about changing massive industry, and there's a reason that they're going to this. I'm going to tell you why they're going to this. Why they're looking now at nuclear fusion. Because they know they can't get it done with, they all know that wind and solar will never replace coal, gas, and oil as far as an energy replacement. There's no possible way. You can't create enough energy with wind and solar to replace the need for all the electricity, all of the moving parts, and the natural gas is such a beautiful way to heat homes. It's unbelievable. Coal industry, gas industry, crude oil industry, we have figured this out. Now, it's okay to supplement it with some wind and solar if you want to, and we are here in America, and we're up to 3%. And we're not going to get much more. We'll never get to 10% the rest of this century off solar and wind. The economy's growing too fast. The numbers of people are too fast. You can't produce enough wind and enough solar to revamp the entire system in the next 75 years. Okay, so you'll get to about 10% in 75 years. So it's never going to happen, and they know it. So they're looking now to a new alternative way to create energy, and they're looking at nuclear fusion. Now, nuclear fusion could very well work, but there's some dangers in it, and I'm going to tell you now, there's a dangers alert. Okay, they're worried about nuclear power plants Well, nuclear fusion is a whole different ball game, and a whole lot more riskier when it comes to potential dangers. And that's why you heard guys like Stephen Hawkins and some of these guys, they were very, very cautious about this because they understood the potential for it. So we gotta really, really think this through, and that's why I'm going to say danger alert here. Let's not jump ahead too fast. Here is some of the information about this thing. U.S. government scientists have made a breakthrough in the pursuit of limitless, zero carbon power by achieving a net energy gain in a fusion reaction for the first time. That sounds nice. Zero carbon. Okay. Tesla energy, if you was to do it the way Nikola Tesla already created, and the government stole his documents, but if you really was to use Tesla technology, it would be zero carbon and zero cost by just pulling the energy out of the air and making it accessible to everyone. That's what Tesla was wanting to do. They actually have that ability, but again, we don't want to go there for some reason. Instead, because nobody would make any money off that. I mean, really, the only people who make money is the guys who help set up the grid. Once the grid was set up, it's over. They got to come up with a way that they can transfer the wealth from the oil companies, the coal companies, and the gas companies to another industry. So, well, they already have tried it with, look how much money they've poured into solar and into wind, trillions. And now they're looking at, well, maybe we can also do fusion. And so this is all about transfer of wealth. Remember, it's what it really is. Is China running out of oil? No. And the United States has more oil. We have so much oil that it's insane. And there'll always be oil. God made the earth to have oil and gas and coal. These are natural. They are natural resources. And we've worked hard as an industrial nations to come up with this. Anyway, this is, physicists have since the 1950s. Now, this is how long they've been working on nuclear fusion. Since the 1950s, they have sought to harness nuclear fusion reaction that powers the sun. Okay? But no group have been able to produce more energy from the reaction than it consumes. In other words, you can't make as much energy as it takes to put it together. So a milestone known as net energy gain or target gain, which would help prove the process, could provide a reliable, abundant alternative to fossil fuels. Could is a key word. The Federal Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory in California, which uses a process called inertial confinement fusion that involves bombarding a tiny pellet of hydrogen plasma with the world's biggest laser, had achieved net energy gain in a fusion experiment in the past 2 weeks. Now, although many scientists believe fusion power stations are still decades away, and they're right, and that's what I'm trying to tell you, the technology's potential is hard to ignore. So fusion reactions emit no carbon. Neither does, neither did Tesla's technology, but that's different. Fusion reactions emit no carbon, produce no long-lived radioactive waste. That's long-lived, that's a key word. And a small cup of the hydrogen fuel could theoretically power a house for hundreds of years. But the U.S. breakthrough comes as the world wrestles with high energy prices and the need to rapidly move away from burning fossil fuels to stop the average global temperatures, which that is not from reaching dangerous levels. So once again, the motivation to move away from the wonderful God-given blessing of a natural resource of fossil fuels is based on a false narrative that the reason that the Earth's global temperatures are increasing is not because of the binary system moving into our solar system and the effects on the sun and all the planets How come the rest of the planets are heating up also? Is it because there's people driving cars or cows are having farts? No. So this is not about that. Okay, but once again, that's the big lie. And through the Inflation Reduction Act, oh God, the Biden administration is plowing almost $370 billion into new subsidies for low carbon energy in an effort to slash emissions and win a global race for the next generation of clean tech. So in other words, Biden, somehow this is called the Inflation Reduction Act. Somehow spending $370 billion of your tax money to try to create a new technology based on a need because of a lie that's going to reduce your inflation numbers. Tell me how spending $370 billion of your money, throwing it in the wind to new companies being formed by Biden donors. You have to understand, where does this $370 billion go? They go to research labs and organizations and companies set up by the supporters of the Biden administration. This is where the money goes. And where are they going to get the $370 billion? They're going to get it from taxing you. How are they going to tax you? Well, the gas tax and the inflation. Everything, the higher inflation is, when you go to the grocery store, it's not only the price is higher, but then if you have a sales tax in your state of 9% or 8% or 11%, or if you live in New York or California, God knows what you're paying. The higher the price, the more tax you have to pay on top of that because it's based on percentages. So so the higher the inflation, the more revenue is going into the government off taxes, plus the gas tax, plus all the rest of the different taxes that they're hitting you with. So, and where's that money going to, and oh, by the way, they're going to also tax the fossil fuel industry on top of that. They're going to hit those guys with even higher taxes. And those are the people that keep your lights on while going to war against these. 97% of the energy in this country is fueled by coal, gas, and oil. 3% is solar and wind combined. And we've spent trillions on this. And what have we got for it? 3%, and we can't get hardly much higher. So now we're going to throw billions into nuclear fusion. But even when we do, we're going to still be, by their own admission, decades away from even figuring out if we can do it. So how much more money are you going to throw in that direction? And how many companies, though, get formed? How many guys get to set up companies who were contributors to the Biden administration who are going to now make millions of dollars to help work on nuclear fusion? Just like the solar panel companies that Obama threw money to, and then they got, one company got $120 million and went bankrupt in 18 months. They didn't go bankrupt. They just shut their company down. They filed bankruptcy and they walked away with about $80 million. And the guy's sitting over in Greece somewhere. They're sitting in Tahiti. They're in the Bahamas, sipping on a pina colada. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. This is what we got to be honest. You can't buy the lie. Don't buy the lie. So it's danger alert in a lot of reasons. Danger. Oh, and by the way, you think this is going to make your inflation go down? Your inflation will go higher with this, number one. Number two, you won't get any closer to changing what we all do. I mean, these idiots in California have decided that in 13 years, they've already passed a law. You can't drive any gas cars in California in 13 years. I wonder what they're going to do 13 years from now when that's impossible. Well, they have electric cars. Well, what are they going to plug all those cars into? Well, they'll to charge them. Oh, they'll charge them at home at night. Okay, how's that electricity? You know how much electricity that means is going to have to be into the grid to support charging those cars every night? Do you understand how much power that is? Every car in California. That means those electric plants have got to crank, and they're not going to crank on solar and wind, I can tell you that. So who's going to feed those electric plants with coal and oil and gas in different ways? How are they going to do that? How are they going to do it? Oh, we're going to do it with nuclear fusion, Pastor Begley. Really? You're decades away from even figuring out if it'll work. Guys, so what I'm saying is, the big lie. It's the big lie to just make a ton of money off of you, throw it at his cronies. They're going to go off into the sunset. And the same lie will be preached by the next Democrat, Congress, or president. And the same lie. And they'll just keep pushing lies and bringing up new stuff and just keep shoveling cash. Meanwhile, our economy and our infrastructure is eroding under our feet. Our position in the world economically is slipping because we're selling off the parts of our economy that we were great at. Manufacturing, the Industrial Revolution was founded by this nation. We made this happen, okay, for the world. So here you are. I know what you're saying. Begley, you're just a country preacher from the cornfields of Indiana, now wearing a Florida shirt. What do you know? What do I know? Check my record. To go back and check the record of everything I've been telling you was going to come to pass over the last 13 years. And then go check Biden's record on everything he promised he would do the last 50 years. And let's see who's closer to being right. I simply just follow the scriptures. I already know that this is a scam and it's an absolute derailment of a democracy or a republic, which we really are. We're going to be broke, busted, and disgusted if these people continue the pattern of selling us this lie. They already told you, we're stinky, smelly Walmart shoppers. We're deplorable. Oh, I know. Oh, I figured it out. Oh, that's right. I forgot. I know how they're going to keep the electric grid working in California 13 years from now. They're going to do rolling blackouts. They're not going to go dig more coal. No. Plug all your cars in at night. During the day, we're going to shut the power off so you can drive your little cars. And then when you get back home, we'll turn it back on. Take your showers at night. Cook your meals at night. Okay, and you don't need refrigerators for meat and butter and cream and milk and stuff. No, eat the sticks and weeds, eat the bugs, the crickets and the grasshoppers and the grub worms and that kind of stuff. You don't need that. You don't need all that electricity. You don't need that, and we don't need that air conditioning. You don't need all that. You just need to. You don't need all that. You just shut the power off during the day, turn it on at night. That way we don't have to dig more coal, and we can cut down on the carbon footprint, and we'll all can hold hands and sing Kumbaya. And guys, I'm going to tell you something. If you was to shut the power off in the entire state of California every day for 12 hours and then turn it back on at night so that you can charge your cars, you still don't have enough electricity to do it. It don't get no better than this, folks. I'm telling you the truth. We better keep our eyes on Jesus. It gets hot during the day. You're right, Mobile Mom. I can still see us now on Rupert Lane Road, all dressed up from our head to our toe. There's nothing that we love more than going to church. Uncle Leroy and Lord singing joy bells of heaven. Me and Donna Sue just a joining right with them. it's a fact. It just don't get no better than that. No, no, no. We didn't need padded pews or stained glass windows for the Holy Ghost to move. A mighty wind on us, upright piano and Charlie Brown's old guitar. Well, I wouldn't trade now what I got back then. Without a doubt, it can happen again. So tonight, let's have a revival right where we are. That's right. We need some foot stomping, hand clapping, tambourine slapping, whole church rocking, and everybody shout. If you're asking me, I tell you it's a fact. It just don't get no better than that. No, 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 no. We like to bring back the days when we all sang those roof-raising gospel songs, just like Kenny Henson singing, hallelujah ringing, and the Holy Ghost. Yeah, Holy Ghost. Somebody shout. Yeah. Come on now. Let's have some foot stomping, hand clapping, tambourine slapping, whole church rocking, and everybody shout. If you're asking me, I tell you it's a fact. It just don't get no better than that. No, I'd like to get some of those old days back, 'cause it's a bona fide fact. No better, no, no better, no better, no, no better, no better, no, no better. It just don't get no better than that. Are you serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Guys, I'll be back with some more this afternoon, more updates of things that are going on around the world. Stay with us on this YouTube channel. And you may not get notified, so just keep checking in, okay? We're here. Ring the bell again. Ring your bell again. God bless you. We love you. Amen. Are you serious?